So, hi everybody, my name is Shantonia Lewis. I am just starting this YouTube channel because I just feel that we, facing some challenges, especially during COVID-19, and I just feel the need to, or have a pressing to actually talk to you all about some mental health issues that, people may be struggling with, that I personally have struggled with. And I just wanted to raise some awareness, ways to overcome these mental issues, also some ways to deal with it and to seek some help. So yeah, that's why I started this channel. A little bit about me. I have just finished university this year. Yay! I studied counselling and psychotherapy. I really enjoyed it. I met some amazing people and I've learned so much. And I'm now wanting to share what I've learned and with you guys. I also like to do art. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a very arty person. I like to paint, I like to draw and sketch. I also like to listen to classical music a lot. It's very calming. It just motivates me to start with my day. I'm also a Christian too. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, which is great. I also love Disney. I'm a Disney fan. A little bit about me. So today we're going to get started with, I'm going to look at depression, especially during these times of COVID. Depression has hit a lot of people. I've struggled with it. I know people who have, but today I specifically want to kind of look at like the overview of depression and mainly focus on seasonal affective disorder, which is a shortened down version for SAD. Depression, what exactly is it? So apparently depression is broken down into four different types of categories. So you have motivation, which the person has no interest whatsoever. They're not interested in doing anything. They are very apathetic. They're not. They don't have empathy for others at that point. They lose interest in things. They feel as though things are hopeless. They feel like things are also meaningless. Then you have the emotional, which is number 2. That's when you feel you have the depressed mood. So depression isn't just like, I'm feeling sad today, this is what happened to me, or, I spilled a cup of water and I feel really sad, like little things like that. It's something that's been going on for a long time. So the emotional side, you have depressed mood, you feel empty, you probably have a little bit of anger or resentment, probably have a little bit of anxiety and probably shame and guilt as well. I'm not sure if that resonates with anybody. You also then have number 3 is a cognitive. So that's when you don't have concentration, you lack it, and you can't concentrate. You probably have negative ideas about your world and what the future may hold for you. And then you also have biological, which goes on to having sleep disturbance. So you probably, if you do sleep, you probably can't sleep enough. You're probably sleeping too long. You probably just, can't sleep much at all, if ever. And you also have a loss of appetite. Or for some people, they eat loads. And there's also a change on hormones and brain chemicals as well, which is interesting. So there are different types of depression that people aren't aware of. This is just the overview. So that's probably associated with like major disorders that people have, such as like having social anxiety, eating disorders, substance misuse, schizophrenia, and depression can also be triggered by life events, such as like childbirth. That's called postpartum depression. You also have depression that comes after maybe a divorce or bereavement, and often in cases as well, you feel depressed because of the change in the weather, the change in the month. So this is called seasonal affective disorder, and this occurs the start of the autumnal, month, whenever the day of autumn starts. And the person usually feels low and they have low moods. They just really struggle during that time. That the depression just really comes on them, and this occurs at the same time each year. So it's not something that just goes away. It's something that is a common occurrence. So every year it comes on. So after all the sunshine, after all that goes, and the start of the winter month starts coming in, that's when the person starts to feel really down, and the depression then kicks in. So people feel with this whole seasonal affective disorder, the sad, because of the decrease of the daylight in the winter months. People lack that good mood. The good mood's kind of gone. Also note that not everybody has the same symptoms of depression. So sometimes when this kicks in, some people may eat more, some people may eat less. When they do eat more, it's consisting of a high amount of carbohydrates. Think of your rice, pasta, bread, things like that. I love bread. But yeah, there is an increase of those things, and probably an increase in body weight too, which is an also sign to look out for. So the ways to treat seasonal affective disorder is basically try to get as much sunlight. Well, I mean, in Manchester, where I am, it's mostly always raining, so there isn't that much sunny days, especially in the autumnal months. It mainly consists of rain, naturally. So even if there isn't that much sunlight, maybe try to get out in the day and maybe go for a walk, maybe do a little bit of exercise. I encourage you, if you're going to do exercise, to exercise in the daytime. Don't exercise at night because it's not going to help you. You're going to feel a lot more worse. Also note that in the autumnal months, in the winter months, it starts to get dark early. You may notice around this time, now it's starting to get a lot more darker, and especially in the height of winter, it gets dark around 4 o'clock in the evening. And some people, they come home in the dark. It's not nice. They may also, if you're early riser to go to work, you may also wake up in the dark. So you're not really seeing that much sunlight at all. So I encourage you, if you're at work, or especially in lockdown, you may not be at work, you may be working at home, try and go for a walk, or even sit in your garden if you have a garden, or go to a local park if you don't, and just, go in the daylight, just be in the light basically, and try and get as much as you can. Also try and eat as healthy as you can. Sometimes, when you are depressed, you don't feel like eating, or you just feel like I said earlier, you feel like eating more carbohydrates. Your rice is good, but maybe try and incorporate your salads and all your greens and your fruits and all that kind of stuff, just to help keep a balanced diet. Also try and drink as much water as you can. Another way to combat seasonal affective disorder is to maybe get a light box. Now, this is something you can get from the shops. You can Google this. The NHS also recommends it. It's basically a light box that you can put at the side of your bedside table. And what you do, you sit with it for 30 minutes every single morning. And what that does, it helps to build your happy hormones, which is your melatonin. Yes, your happy hormones, because your serotonin is what helps you, the sleep hormone. You don't want that. So you want to feel happy and you're ready to start your day. So sit in front of that. That helps you to mimic the sunlight that lacks. That's what's lacking in the winter months. So definitely try those. Also, for those of you who don't suffer with this, maybe try and look out for your loved ones or family and friends who are suffering with SAD. And for those who do have it, definitely let your family and loved ones know so that they're aware, and they can also help you to build up healthy strategies, healthy ways to go throughout this difficult time period. They can also help support you and help you to get out in the light, get some exercise where you can, just to be in the daylight. Also, another tip is to get as much sunlight, well, not sunlight, but as much light as you can into your own house or your office space, wherever you're working. So some of us may be working at home, where you are at home, maybe sitting near a window. I'm sitting near one right now, so there's so much light flooding in. That also helps to build up your mood as well, so you're not always in the dark. You can always have to put in the artificial lights on. So if you're sat in a dark place where you're working, maybe try and move to a more lighter space. If you're in the office, maybe open the blinds and whatnot, and just in your house, just to make it more brighter. You can also go for lighter shades in color. So think of your whites, your creams, all that kind of, like your nice colors. So like when the light does come in, it feels a lot more brighter than it usually does, and it's not feeling so dark and dingy in your house. So that's another tip that you can do. So for those who are suffering with this, I hope these tips do help. Seek help when you can as well. If you do need to speak to somebody, you can do. Go speak to a counsellor, therapist, whichever you feel that's best, or even speak to a family member who you trust, who will listen to you and who will help you during these times, and who will motivate you to do all the tips that I've suggested. Feel free to research up more about this depression and get as much help as you can. So this is the end of my little talk about seasonal affective disorder. I hope it's helped you. I hope you found some tips. I hope you've maybe learned something. And thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.